Hello everyone, my name is Craig and welcome back to the channel, and this is a video review of the Nerf and Strike Element IX6 or EX6. I'm not sure, it'll be corrected in the title. Pretty fun blaster for its time. It's another old end strike blaster. Let's get into the review. Starting out at the front, there is no end strike barrel lug. It's a single shot pistol. It is a front loader. To load, you simply do that. The capacity of this blaster is one shot, despite having the name EX whatever. Maybe it's EX1, maybe I looked at that wrong, but I could have sworn that it said like EX6. Getting out to the back here, there is an End Strike tactical rail back here, which is super cool. Love that they have that. Getting back is the priming handle. It is spring powered to prime. You pull back like that. Prime weight is, I would say, moderate, especially for old End Strike blasters. But the draw weight is not super heavy. Like, this is definitely not a high performance blaster, but it's worth noting. Getting down to the grip is pretty solid. I like this grip. Fairly comfortable, well proportioned to the blaster. Mostly, I have small hands and this fits in well. If you have bigger hands, this should fit in pretty darn well. There is a sling attachment point at the bottom. That is a very, very tiny sling mount. I don't know what you're going to put through there. But yeah, getting down to the trigger pull is fairly smooth-ish. It's a little bit rough, but it works how it's supposed to. This was a blaster bought off of eBay, so it's a bit used, but it works pretty darn well. And I'll tell you by the performance of it that it doesn't feel like, this feels like it was like stock. Nothing else really to manipulate. At front is dart storage. You can hold up to 5 other darts. However, in case you can't see what's in that barrel, be very careful as to how far you push this in. You cannot push them in far at all, because I just jammed in a dart in there. And yeah, I've already damaged that dart trying to fish it out. It doesn't come out easily. I'm going to have to open this up, which I already stripped the screw. None of the screwdrivers in my kit, which I have like three, and they usually work universally on these screws, are enough to do this. So yeah, yikes. So I'll just go down one. If you put this in all the way with pretty much any variation of dart and any length, you will never see your dart again. So I wouldn't recommend this at all for ammo storage, unless if you're very careful and put it in with it sticking out a bit, because with the hassle of just the Nerf hobby and stuff, you're going to accidentally jam that in, and there's nothing on this lip here to really block that tip from going all the way in. And once it's all the way in, there's not enough to grip onto to pull it out. That's my biggest complaint so far about that, and especially if you're going to advertise that it has that much dart storage, which I don't really care about, but it's nice to have, especially since it took up this much plastic. You could literally just chop it here and it would be fine. It kind of adds no purpose. That's super annoying, right? So that's pretty much what it is. It's just a single shot blaster like that. Yeah, let's get into a firing demo. So this time I'm only shooting about 5 feet away, standard blue and Nerf Elite darts to start out. Now a few Adventure Force darts. Now some X-Shot full-length darts. Oops. There we go. A few white sting darts. Only 2 of these screamer darts. Alright, I'll just fire this one again then. Old orange end strike darts. Yep, it won't fire these. Spoiler alert for the next review. I have, I forgot the brand name, but I have a few darts, like about 3/4 length darts of a blaster that I'm about to review. These are not full length darts, but I have a couple of those. That review is going to be pretty cool. But same brand, but suction cup darts. Coolio. So, firing analysis and conclusion of the element. It actually fired very decently. Actually, I wouldn't even say decently. It fired very well for an old end strike blaster. From what I can tell, and especially with the chrono data that I'm about to give you, this fires better than both my Alpha Trooper and my Recon, and of course the Maverick as well. It fires better than those. This feels like a stock Nerf blaster as opposed to an old end strike blaster that has been used because it was bought off of eBay, right? So let's get into chrono data, then I'll analyze that a little bit more. With standard blue Nerf Elite darts, I throw it up on my chronograph and over a 6 dart average, rounding up when necessary. I got an average velocity of 68 feet per second, and I'm not kidding. Yes, I did 2 of these tests because I was really surprised of that. 68 feet per second. That's just under what we can expect from normal Nerf Elite primaries on the market right now. This thing is shooting almost as hard as Nerf Elite blasters, although some of the other chrono data is going to probably negate that, but assuming that you're using these darts standardly throughout most of the blasters, that's probably what you would best compare it to. That's pretty impressive, actually. And some of the other numbers aren't that bad either as well. So, yeah. The Adventure Force dart shot very, very soft at about 52 feet per second. But that is to be expected. I actually find these darts shooting a lot softer than what I thought. It was definitely a little bit more accurate, but definitely softer, 52 feet per second. I actually wouldn't recommend these with this blaster. Next out is the X-Shot darts, and these darts, I love the X-Shot full-length darts. 69 giggity feet per second. So 1 FPS hotter than the Nerf Elite dart, so pretty much exactly with that. The star of the show with most of the blasters that I've reviewed. I love these darts, but very decent velocity and almost consistent velocity out of these darts. Actually, I think I got a more consistent velocity out of the extra darts than I did with the Elite darts, even though I got about the same average with both, right? So that is that one. The Emosting darts actually shot pretty soft, and I don't know why, but these are shooting fairly soft compared to most of the other ammo types in just about every blaster. 59 feet per second, which is pretty low. That's actually that's into old end strike territory, actually. 59 feet per second. It's like on the upper echelon, if not like the peak of old end strike blasters. So most sting darts didn't do too well. The screamer dart surprisingly got an average of 44 feet per second. For screamer darts, that's actually pretty darn good on that one. And then the old end strike darts, unfortunately, due to their dimensions, did not fire at all. Lay bummer, right? And you would think because of this blaster that these darts would be compatible. No, these darts were released. They were released after this blaster came out, so it was technically not cross compatible. If I remember correctly, the original element came with those Velcro darts, those old end strike Velcro darts, and those actually fired at a little bit different than these Nerf streamlined darts of what these ones were called. So yeah, varying velocities, but overall, I'm going to say that this is shooting as well as most Nerf Elite blasters, and I don't know if that's just my product or like if this was modded or whatnot. It feels like it might have been, because I mean, I kind of see signs that it might have been opened up. Besides the screws that I almost stripped, there's another screw that's partially stripped. I don't know if they opened it up or what and upgraded the spring, but for an old end strike blaster, this is probably the best blaster that I've recommended. Firing velocity as well, the performance and the proportions, it's pretty much everything I'm looking for. The only complaint that I have is this dart storage. I jammed a dart in there very easily. That's probably a dingus move on me mostly. It's actually, that's like 98.75% me, but yeah, I still think that they could have done away with just chopping off that. There's really no need for extra plastic like that, even dart storage, especially ones where this is about how far you can safely push it in. At least I would recommend, or maybe that far, before it's like danger zone. You're never going to recover these darts again. So yeah, aside from that, and like you can tell, it's difficult to get these out. I jammed it, I pushed it almost all the way in, and I made the situation worse when I went to try to recover it, stick in something small enough to pry it out, and I ended up pushing it back in further. So yeah, that's really my only complaint about this, and I'm kind of dismissing that a little bit, but I do notice that I must mention that in the review. If you do decide to purchase this blaster, either don't use this or be very, very careful. I don't really see the point of this dart storage, and I don't think that it's that great of a selling point, really, for this. No really other complaints of this blaster. So my personal opinion on this blaster, actually extremely high. And for the eBay, I probably should have checked if it was like a modded thing or not. I didn't see anything on that, because the price, if I recall correctly, was about $10–11, not including shipping, obviously. Pretty decent for what it was. And eBay and stuff, or thrift shops, are going to be the only place that you can get this. This is a discontinued blaster, obviously, because it's way old end strike dart, like 2008 era time frame, right? Somebody's going to correct me on that date in there, but you get what I mean, right? Pre-elite. So, but would I recommend this blaster? If you're looking for a backup blaster, which this actually would fall into, I wouldn't recommend this as a secondary because it has capacity of 1, right? If you're looking for a backup blaster, I'd probably recommend this, because this is actually shooting hotter than a Jolt, and it's shooting right up there with the Triad. If you want 3 shots, go with the Triad. If you want 1, I'd probably, again, I don't know if it's every single element or if it's this blaster, but I'm going to assume that it's this blaster, unless if I find out otherwise. I would recommend this blaster, the Element, an old end strike blaster, over the Jolt. Yes, I don't do that very often, but yeah, I'd recommend this over Jolt. Yeah, the Jolt has been dethroned so far. I mean, it's been dethroned since the Triad came out. It's pretty much just better. But yeah, I can't find a single thing really wrong with this one. So yeah, let me know what you think of the element in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe to this channel and like the video if you did. If we get 100 subscribers, I will start our first Q&A. Probably not a great milestone to do for Q&A, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.